Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Today is Monday, November 19th, 2018. We're here for the purpose of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council. It is 7:37. I would ask that you all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Cyprian, please call the roll.
Toludo? Here. York? Absent. Levin?
Here.
Park?
Here.
Conquest?
Here.
Kennedy? Absent. Mulliner?
Here.
Brennan?
Here.
Sabatino?
Here.
Deuter?
Here.
Dunn?
Here.
Leader?
Here.
Palumski?
Here.
Graham?
Here.
12 present, 2 absent.
12 present, 2 absent. We have a quorum. On to agenda item 3, receipt of written communications from the public. At this time, is there anybody in the audience who has any written communications they wish to submit? If so, please raise your hand and identify yourself. Anybody with written communications? Seeing none, that concludes agenda item 3. On to public forum. Agenda item 4.1. This is an opportunity for anybody in the audience to address the council on any item they so choose. We ask that you specifically direct your comments to the chair. When your name is called, we ask that you make your way to the microphone over here on my right. Out of respect for the work that we need to get done here this evening and respect for others who may want to speak, we ask that you keep your comment to 3 minutes. If you go over your 3 minutes, I will give you a gentle reminder and ask you to wrap up. We do ask you to identify yourself when you get to the microphone, as we are recording this, and address is optional. Clerk Cyprian, at this time, has anybody signed up for public forum?
We have one person, Your Honor, C.J. O'Brien.
That's it? No, the one behind, there you go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is C.J. O'Brien. I'm the owner and managing partner of the Chicago Wildfire. We're a professional ultimate Frisbee team that started in 2012. And if you're not already aware, we'll be playing at Elmhurst College in 2019. So we're very excited to be part of the community here to bring professional sports to Elmhurst. Our season begins in April. For those of you that aren't already aware, don't know what ultimate Frisbee is, it's not something that you play with your dog or throw at a basket. It is a 7-on-7 played on a football field. 7-on-7, each team defending an end zone. Players pass it from one player to the next until someone catches it in the end zone. When you catch it, you can't run. You have to pass it to the next player. Anytime it's turned over or goes out of bounds or is intercepted, play immediately starts going the other direction. So it's a very fast-paced game. It's an exciting sport. It's safer than football, more exciting and faster than baseball. So we're really excited to come to Elmhurst. I've met several of you already. Thank you so much for the warm welcome, and we're looking forward to meeting more of you and engaging more with Elmhurst next year and in more of the years to come. Thanks.
Fantastic. Okay, that's it for folks who signed up for our public forum at this time. Is there anyone who did not have an opportunity to sign in the sign-in sheet that we keep at the back of the room before the meeting, but wishes to address the council at this time? If so, please raise your hand. Seeing none, that concludes public forum for this evening. Agenda item 5, announcements. Any announcements from the dais? Alderman Deuter.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to announce that Alderman Sabatino and I are having a First Ward Town Hall meeting on Tuesday, November 27th. The meeting will start at 7 o'clock, and we're starting with a brief presentation from Paul Burris, the utility manager, to give an overview of the Water Smart program. And Paul will be at the library from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock to work with any residents, First Ward residents, who would like to be signed up for the Water Smart program and get kind of a one-on-one tutorial. So the meeting starts at 7, first floor meeting room of the library.
Fantastic. Any other announcements from the dais? Seeing none, we'll go on to consent agenda. At this time, is there any alderman wishes to have any item removed to provide additional comment or vote no on an item on the consent agenda? Alderman Bram.
6.9.
Okay, anyone else? I will now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda minus item 6.9. Motion by Alderman Honquist, second by Alderman Brennan. Clerk Cyprian.
Toledo,
Aye.
York, absent. Levin,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Conquest,
Aye.
Kennedy, absent. Mulliner,
Aye.
Brennan,
Aye.
Sabatino,
Aye.
Deuter,
Aye.
Dunn,
Aye.
Leader,
Aye.
Volumsky,
Aye.
Graham,
Aye.
12 ayes, 2 absent.
12 ayes and 2 absent. Consent agenda is approved minus item 6.9. Back to report out of Public Works, I'd ask Clerk Cyprian to read the recommendation.
It is therefore the recommendation of the Public Works and Buildings Committee that the city enter into the intergovernmental agreement between the County of Cook, the Illinois State Toll Authority, the City of Northlake, and the City of Elmhurst for the improvement to County Line Road and a new southbound I-294 ramp, and the city attorney be authorized to prepare the necessary documents for city council approval. Signed, Jim Kennedy, Chairman, Marty Deuter, Vice Chairman, Norman Leader, unsigned, Michael Bram.
Okay, to put this before council, I'll ask for a motion to approve the report. Recommendation as read. Motion by Alderman Deuter, second by Alderman Leader. Alderman Deuter.
Thank you, Mayor. This report is recommending the approval of an intergovernmental agreement between Cook County as the lead agency, the Illinois State Toll Highway Authority, the City of Northlake, and the City of Elmhurst. This is a project that's related to the Elgin O'Hare Expressway improvements. I believe this was about 5 years in the making. There are a number of details about the project outlined in the IGA, but I will defer to Alderman Bram.
Okay, comments? Alderman Bram.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to this project. This is tied to Elgin O'Hare. This is tied to an off-ramp coming off of 294, which would then end up on County Line Road. There's been discussions over the years of where that off-ramp should be due to safety concerns, due to the businesses on County Line Road, et cetera. So I'm excited to see us at the doorstep, if you will, to move forward with this project and have an intergovernmental agreement. The reason why I have concerns, or the issues that I have with this project, is what it may do to the surrounding residential neighborhood in the area. And it is speculation to say that it will impact it, but it's speculation to say that it won't. And since some of the details, some of the information that I requested has not been received, I would like to make a request that this gets pulled back to committee, so I will have, and others will have, an opportunity to look at additional information like traffic studies, et cetera. And the basis on that is essentially at the intersection of County Line Road and Lake Street frontage. What is proposed with the attached map is a stoplight. The biggest concern is that since there will be, in my estimation, a significant increase in traffic going onto County Line Road off of 294 at this area, that this potential traffic, including truck traffic, could end up in the residential area going west. I use the analogy of the Berthoud jug handle. For those who were not around, essentially traffic would be coming off of 294, turning into the residential area that used to actually loop around until the subdivision was closed off at a dead-end cul-de-sac. There's benefits on this where this is allowing an eastbound exit off of this ramp onto North Avenue. And I am glad to see that that was included in this project, included in this map. But by moving forward, if we would to move forward with this today, we would not have any say-so on how we would try to do our best to mitigate any further impact to the residents of this area by allowing potential truck traffic and other traffic to go westbound on Lake Street frontage and then end up in a residential area. So we would essentially be moving Berthoud jug handle traffic, which used to be 15, 20 years ago, off to County Line Road and Lake Street frontage and Emroy and the other streets in that area. And that is my biggest concern. So I'm asking for this to be pulled back. If that is not achieved, then I cannot support this as written.
Okay? Any other comments? Usually look at Alderman Polomsky.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the points brought forward by Alderman Brown, but I did follow up with engineering on this, and I just want to reiterate that the report before us is really just to identify the specific responsibilities of all the entities involved, specifically conveying that Elmhurst will own and operate a portion of frontage road, that will maintain storm sewer, that we will have a third of the financial responsibility for the maintenance and electrical charges, and that we will have responsibility for the cost of the emergency vehicle preemption system installed at that intersection. These are the questions before us. That said, I did ask about potential traffic. I know we've been having these discussions over the years, and you know, it was confirmed that in response to Elmhurst's needs, you know, that the city staff, you know, an ongoing discussing how this may impact us, that yes, we will be having a new ramp going eastbound on North Avenue. And the understanding is that anybody who wants to access the North York area would be taking 294 to 290 York exit, because that is the simplest way to get there. But that city staff said that it would be entirely appropriate to put up a no truck traffic going west. So I feel that though we're not discussing traffic control in this report, staff has already brought up some of these issues, so I don't see a reason not to support this report.
Alderman Brand.
Thank you. I asked the question in the committee meeting, if we move forward with this, where will this project be? And it was stated to the committee that we would be moving forward as it is outlined in the map. And what I mean by that is it's a traffic signal that will allow any and all traffic to go westbound off of County Line Road, southbound off of County Line Road, westbound onto Lake Street frontage, going into the neighborhood, the third ward. Yes, the report itself is not about that, but this is the last bite of the apple. When speaking to staff during the city council meeting, this is the last bite of the apple to have any leverage with this agreement to make sure that traffic is not going, especially truck traffic, not going into this neighborhood. In regards to a sign, my belief, and this is just anecdotal, but I have many complaints in this area that truck traffic currently uses Lake Street frontage, no matter what sign is there. Signage is great only to give direction to those who are going to actually be honest and follow them. By having a stoplight that allows right turn traffic on Lake Street frontage, it is my belief that we will be recreating the Bordeaux jug handle in a different section of town. There is no harm in postponing this 2 weeks. I did ask city staff if there was a concern, and they did state that the reason why they're bringing it before us now is because the Highway Authority would like to have it resolved as of yesterday. Well, I think there's bandwidth, because if they wanted it as of yesterday, we would have done what we've done in the past and have the report and the resolution on the same ordinance and suspend the rules. That's not before us today. So we do have time. We can do that in 2 weeks. I'm asking for the privilege, I guess, to look at additional data instead of just pure speculation. The Highway Authority thinks that it is necessary due to the amount of potential traffic on County Line Road off of 294 to install a stoplight, which is not there today. They are reconfiguring this intersection from a T intersection to a four-way intersection. So there is significant changes here. Why is there a need to move forward with this? I get that the Highway Authority would like to move forward as of yesterday, but we still will not delay the project one day if we do move forward with it in 2 weeks and suspending the rules along with the report in the ordinance or report in the resolution. So even though there is some belief that this will not impact it. I'm not sure on why we wouldn't take the due diligence to evaluate all data in front of us and evaluate it thoroughly, especially at least one representative from the area who has seen the impacts in other parts of the Third Ward in previous years and wants to do his due diligence to prevent it from happening again in another part of town. I don't know if anybody sitting on this dais would appreciate or would enjoy having tractor trailers rolling across or rolling in front of your property on a daily basis. It occurs to some degree for commercial traffic to avoid the York and North intersection, and yes, that's speculation, but that's speculation that nobody knows that it's true or not true. So the only reason to be in the residential area is to avoid traffic on North Avenue and possibly York Road. So it happens today, and this could be a significant issue going forward if this moves forward as is.
Alderman Deuter.
Thank you, Mayor. Timing was discussed at the committee meeting, and although we did not at all discuss moving both the report and the ordinance or resolution together at the same time, we've taken the position we avoid doing that at all costs. So I think that's probably reading a little bit too much into it to say the timeliness is not actually that important, because we would have moved them together at the same time. So I do understand that this is an approval that the other entities have been waiting for, that, you know, to some extent we're overdue in providing it. The issues that are being raised now are not new issues to the discussion. As I understand from staff, they have a traffic study, it's been evaluated. Staff believes strongly, and it's indicated by the traffic study as reported by staff, that what's presented, what they're proposing, would be an improvement. I don't see what will change 2 weeks from now. Again, that study has been around for some period of time. It could be reviewed at any point. Staff certainly has reviewed it. So I would suggest that we move forward and approve this report tonight.
Any other comments? Alderman Deuter is a request from your own committee member, so I'm just going to ask, because it is a courtesy we offer either the chair or the vice chair at the time. But it sounds like your answer is no, but do you want to pull it back to committee?
I think it's ready to go tonight. We had the conversation at the committee meeting about should we wait a couple more weeks, and the consensus from the committee at the time was it's ready to go.
Okay. Additional comments? Alderman Bram.
Alderman Deuter's statements makes it sound like there wasn't due diligence done, at least my perception of the comments, of not evaluating the traffic study. I've been engaged and I've asked, when not even presented to me on this topic, multiple occasions to the city manager on where we are with this, and I think he can attest to that. 2 weeks prior, we talked about, I don't know if it was the storm or water main, but the storm sewer in this area, we did a similar report. At that time, during that discussion, I said, wow, this is surprising to me to see this in front of us, because I've been engaged in this over all these years. At that time, nobody from city staff followed up and said, oh, in 2 weeks, we're actually going to do the last piece of this puzzle and we're going to move forward with it. I have been engaged. I've asked the questions. I've voiced my concerns from day one since I've been brought into this conversation. Signage is signage. And I think any one of us can attest to exactly that. It is there, it is helpful, but people are going to ignore it for their own benefit. Again, I will say that is true today. My neighborhood sees it today. Columbia, Fremont, Michigan, they see it today with truck traffic ignoring signage that says residential traffic only. It's done today. So putting a sign up and saying, oh, please don't go in this neighborhood is not going to do it. And to say that this is timely, I get it's timely. But by suspending it 2 weeks and giving me the opportunity to evaluate something that is what I deem to be very crucial to the neighborhood, is a consideration that I would give others, and I would hope that others would give me.
Okay, any other comments? Seeing none, I'll ask Clerk Cyprian to call the vote.
Toledo?
Aye.
York, absent. Levin?
Aye.
Park?
Aye.
Conquest?
Aye.
Kennedy, absent. Mulliner?
Aye.
Brennan?
Aye.
Sabatino?
Aye.
Deuter?
Aye.
Dunn?
Aye.
Leader?
Aye.
Plumsky?
Aye.
Graham?
No.
11 ayes, 1 nay, 2 absent.
11 ayes, 1 nay, motion carries. Agenda item 6.9? Agenda item 6.9 is passed. On to 7, reports and recommendations from appointed elected officials. Mayor Morley, that is me. 2 quick reports. One is, we have a budget meeting after this, so you people in the audience, stay put. The other is, I had the good fortune, see if I can find it on my phone here. I had the good fortune of patronizing, I think that's the correct term, patronizing Ben's Chocolate Stand. Huh? So this young gentleman, he's an Elmhurst kid, he's a fantastic kid. Had brain cancer when he was a little boy, 5 months old, and so far so good. He's beaten it. He's been cancer-free for the past 9 years. And as a thank you, he started a chocolate stand, a hot chocolate stand. He's expanded it to other treats and the like. And just this last Sunday on the 18th, he had the stand. The whole neighborhood was involved. And I think just that day alone, this young man, who I think is in 5th grade now, raised over $17,000. Wow. So just fantastic, this kid. It was great to see him. I was happy to buy a cup of hot chocolate from him. That's it for me. I know Alderman Dunn might have an update on ONCC, but we'll wait until you're finished, City Manager.
Thank you. A few updates, especially for this week. With the Thanksgiving holiday, City Hall will be closed Thursday and Friday. And happy Thanksgiving to all. Sorry.
Reminder to tell people Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, yeah, very appropriate. And after the holiday, that Friday, we are hosting a cooking oil collection event at the Public Works facility. More information on our website about that. And this Saturday, the Holly Trolley starts. So that will be running, and there's information on that as well on the website, and that is the usual trolley route, and it is running, I believe, noon to 10. 2 other items. On the 26th of November, we have scheduled the annual JRB meeting. That's the Joint Review Board for all of our TIF districts, where we go through the year-end numbers. So that will be at 6 o'clock before our committee meetings. And then the last item, the City Center will be hosting the Hometown Holiday Block Party on December 1st, starting at 4 p.m. in City Center at the Fountain. That's what I have. Thank you.
Okay. Alderman Dunn.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a quick report. The Fly Quiet Subcommittee of the ONCC met last Thursday. We were asked as a committee to submit suggestions for criteria for the what's being called Fly Quiet 21, FQ 21, which will be the permanent nighttime plan, runway rotation going forward indefinitely. And out of the 11 members of the committee, I think 6 submitted some criteria, and that was Elmhurst submitted a list of 5 criteria. And that was distilled down into 8, I think it was 8 total criteria. I don't have those in front of me. And we discussed those, deliberated on those last Thursday, gave suggestions. It's still a slight work in process, but moving along with those. When they are, the final wording will be released. We have a meeting in December. I think it's the third Thursday in December, right before the holidays, to finalize that list. So it's an important list of criteria which will define sort of the ground rules on how we want to manage the nighttime traffic in and out of O'Hare. So I'm anxious to see the final list, but overall, I think my impression of it is that it's positive, beneficial for Elmhurst, and it doesn't put us in a compromising position. Thanks.
Okay, any other reports? Oh, I'm sorry. Alderman Bram, I didn't see it.
Just a quick question on the ONCC meeting. It was my understanding that there was a vote taken on the criteria. Was there a vote taken on the criteria? Are these solidified as the 8 or whatever number criteria? And if so, has that criteria been posted publicly? Since last time I checked, it was not.
Bob, any additional information on that?
Yes, the draft criteria were put out pre-meeting. They were discussed. There were some small edits made to it, and there was a vote on that list of criteria and the wording of it. It's still subject to change, but at this juncture, the committee supported the criteria and the wording of them. There were some members that did vote against it for various reasons. I think the vote was 9-2, so two voted against it. Elmhurst did vote for it.
Okay. Any other reports? Seeing none, we'll go on to ordinances. Clerk Cyprian, I'd ask you to read the ordinance.
An ordinance providing the issuance of approximately 9,990,000 general obligation bonds, Series 2018, of the City of Elmhurst, DuPage, and Cook Counties, Illinois, for the purpose of financing certain capital improvements within said city and paying the expenses incident thereto, providing for the levy and collection of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on said bonds, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to the winning bidder thereof.
Okay, to put this before council, I'll ask for a motion to approve the ordinance as read. Motion by Alderman Sabatino, second by Alderman Brennan. Alderman Sabatino, this is a result of a report out of your committee.
Mr. Mayor, so with respect to the 2018 GO bond issue, we had a bond sale today. The city received 124 bids from 8 bidders, with the lowest bid of 3.4757%. With interest rates rising, especially over the last 2 years, the city and Spear Financial estimated a rate between 3.5% and 4%, so we're very pleased with this rate of 3.4757%. The proceeds from the 2018 bonds will mostly fund stormwater improvements and the remaining cost of the citywide water meter changeout program. Mayor, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules to allow Mark Geratina of Spear Financial to provide additional detail on the bond sale.
Is he here?
He's here.
Oh, fantastic. We'll do this by voice vote. Motion to suspend the rules to allow Mr. Cheratino to address the council. Motion by Alderman Sabatino, second by Alderman Levin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Henry? Floor is yours.
Good evening. As Alderman Sabatino mentioned, we received 124 bids from 8 different bidders, and in the time I've been at Spear since 2010, that's by far the most we've ever received in any bond sale that we've ever done.
Say that again?
The 124 bids is the most we've ever received.
Fantastic.
So it's a great sale. As Alderman Sabatino mentioned, we were planning around 3.75, so it was about 30 basis points lower than we anticipated. And the reason why there were so many bidders is because they can rebid. So you don't just get just one bid. It's kind of like eBay, where you know what place you're in, but you don't know how far ahead you are. So that's why there were so many bids.
Got it.
And the AAA rating was also affirmed for the city of Elmhurst, and that's the highest possible rating you can get. And that also helped with lower interest cost. And so we would recommend that the bid by Northland Securities at a 3.476 be accepted, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that the council may have.
So, Mr. Gerantina,
Correct.
Our rate, my computer's broken.
4757.
Our rate is 3.4757?
Yeah, 3.4757, correct. And the second place was actually 3.479, so it was,
So it's kind of a blind bidding process, you just know, and then you go until everyone drops out except one?
correct, yeah, until someone doesn't overtake the first place bidder.
Well, Naperville just recently did some GO bonds.
It,
I assume they got a better rate than us?
They, I believe we handle Naperville as well. I believe they got a 3.61%. That was 2 weeks ago, though, so
We got a better rate than Naperville?
that's correct.
I'll have to talk to Mayor Cherico. Conversation.
There were different market environments. There was a smaller size.
Better rate than Naperville. Ray, you got that? Okay. Any additional comment, questions for Jarentina? Anyone else? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For helping us be successful in this manner, and I think that concludes at least that motion. Thank you very much for being here and filling us in. Mr. Sabatino, any additional comments?
None at this time, thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Clerk Cyprian, I ask that you call the vote.
Toledo?
Aye.
York? Absent. Levin?
Aye.
Park?
Aye.
Conquest?
Aye.
Kennedy? Absent. Mulliner?
Aye.
Brennan?
Aye.
Sabatino?
Aye.
Deuter?
Aye.
Dunn?
Aye.
Leader?
Aye.
Palumski?
Aye.
Graham?
Aye.
12 ayes, 2 absent.
12 ayes, 2 absent, motion carries. Ordinance is approved. On to other business. Any other business? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Alderman Deuter, second by Alderman Dunn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? We're adjourned. 10 minutes.